Well, good morning, West Ham fans. Steidten has finally spoken. Let's talk about it. Yes, everybody. Russell and West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. If you're new around here, thanks for joining us. Thanks, Josh. And before I start, thank you for watching, and thank you for watching and commenting and engaging in our Russie Reacts video yesterday. It was a really good, nice, good debate. As I said, we're all good mass debaters here, and I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the interaction, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that. Not every day, but maybe once a week or once a fortnight, and we'll mix it up. Myself will do one week, maybe Anton, maybe Holly will do the other week. So keep an eye on the channel. We'll be doing some more of that going forward. It was very well received. Also, check out last night. Poor Jamie. He was like he was jumped on by half a dozen Arsenal fans on his show, The Wrap Up. It was Jamie and a few Arsenal content creators talking about the game ahead. And tonight, I believe we might have your West Ham view, boys. It's usually one of their relatives' birthdays, or one of them's busy lads. And then obviously tomorrow night, actually, if you are around and you're at a loose end and you're in the sort of Rush, Green, Montford, Hornchurch, around their area. 7 o'clock kickoff. West Ham under 21s play Chelsea under 21s in the PL2. Boys doing really well. I think it's like a fiver to get in. It's a great day. It's a great game of football. They're really good to watch, and maybe see the stars of tomorrow. Maybe for a fiver, absolute bargain. And you know the tunes will be banging because I'll be playing them, and mispronouncing all the Chelsea players pretty much. That's what I do. It's what I do. I'm a winner. That's what I do. Anyway, yeah. So the purpose of today, that's a good idea, Russ. It's all downhill now, and it's all downhill hump day. We're all getting ready for the Arsenal game. But Steidten has done an interview, and I'm thinking, is it his first interview since being made director of football West Ham? I can't remember of him having done an interview since then. The only interview I think I've heard him, or the only time I've heard him speak or heard of him speak, was when Anton spoke to him at the Player Awards, at the gala dinner for the Europa Conference League win, when he sort of said, "Yeah, we're signing players. Give me a couple of days," and we did sign a couple of players in Edson Alvarez and Mohamed Kudus, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he spoke with Sky Germany's Florian Peltenberg. You know, Florian, he gets involved in all these transfers. He's like the German version of Darmesh. I think that's the best way to describe him. And he sat down with Tim Steidten. Now, obviously, we're only getting excerpts of the interview at the moment. These things don't get dripped fed for social media engagement reasons. So they won't put out the whole interview. They'll put out this quote and this quote, and there'll be maybe 2 more quotes tomorrow, and then maybe Saturday they put the full interview out. That's usually the way it works, but we'll keep an eye and we'll report back as and when we get more of this interview. But I think it's really important because actually, Tim was asked about transfers and was asked about players he's brought in, and in terms of the stuff that's been released to the general public, he was asked about Alvarez and Calvin Phillips. So in terms of Alvarez, it was really interesting because we know that Moyes was looking at bringing in the likes of Harry Maguire and people like that. He wanted to bring in leaders, and it seems that Tim is doing the same thing. So in terms of Tim's interview, if I press the right button, of course, there we go. He speaks really highly of Edson Alvarez. He was quoted in the interview saying, "He has a very big influence in our game. I'm very happy that Dortmund may have been a bit slow, and I had the chance to get him. The reason I'm you will be clear when we talk about the other player. I have also known him for a long time. He is a super important player for us. He is a leader, an absolute leadership figure. He is top. He is top." And that's really interesting because there was not narrow. I keep saying the word narrative, but it is narrative. There was a theory that Steidten in wasn't the main. Alvarez was already targeted. Noble had already scouted him, that type of thing. He may well have, but it seems that Tim is very much taking the credit for bringing in Edson Alvarez. The fact he knows him, the fact he's happy that he beat Borussia Dortmund to his signing, which is obviously particularly from his Bayer Leverkusen days, sort of almost to Borussia Dortmund. But it was really interesting, and he's true. He is a great presence on the pitch. And he was asked a similar question about Calvin Phillips and about bringing him in. Obviously, it was released yesterday that Ibrahim Osman is set to go to Brighton. He's not actually a Brighton player because they can't actually sign him until the summer. But what they can do is get everything sorted and they can announce it. They did a similar thing last year with João Pedro from Watford. If you remember, they signed him in the off season, so to speak. So the fact is, he's not actually signed. You can't actually sign him until the summer, but it's all but agreed. And obviously, we only bought in one. We only brought in Calvin Phillips, and he was asked about Calvin and his qualities and what he'll bring to the table. And he basically said, we were looking for someone who is a leader. So where before it was I, now it's we. We were looking for someone who is a leader. We have known him for a long time. The conversations are very good, and I believe it will work out well. So the first one was all about me, and this one's about we. So there's so for me, where Edson Alvarez reading it subjectively was a Steidten signing, and we sort of know that, to be honest. And he had a bad hit rate, as he really. Kudus, Alvarez, Mavropanos, and I still obviously JWP was definitely a Moyes-led one in my opinion. And it does seem with Calvin Phillips, it's more of a consortium rather than because we were looking for someone who's a leader, and I think we do need someone who is a leader. We do need someone who's got a bit of leadership skills behind them. I think that was one of the things when Declan Rice left was we did lose a massive amount of just leadership and general leading a team. I don't get the same oomph with Kurt Zouma as a captain. I don't see many people commending his captainship. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like whereas Declan was a captain, a very young captain, but was a captain. I still think that's an area which we need to bring someone in, because I just think, particularly now with the way that football's set up in terms of talking to the referee and only the captain can talk to them and stuff like that. Having a really persuasive captain, I always liked people like, Scott Parker led by example. He wasn't even captain, but Scott Parker. Yeah, Nobes. I liked Kevin Nolan as a captain. Do you know what I mean? Someone who was literally going to drag you by the collar and drag you through the game. I just don't think we still have that. Maybe Calvin could be that person, but he's only here for 4 months, so he hasn't got that. He hasn't got the longevity to be able to take that role on board. Maybe further down the life he does sign for us. He could be that sort of engine room. Him and Alvarez together. He's the machine, and KP is the nuts, as I call him. So I just thought it was very interesting how that was something that's been picked up on, talking about both of them. They wanted to bring someone in who was and thinking about it more subjectively, you think about the bounce we had when Jay Lings came in. It was real quality, and he came in to give the squad a bounce. Clearly, they saw Calvin as a similar thing in terms of bringing in real quality. There was a England international ready and available. You don't usually turn your nose up at that. We know he's an amazing character. He's a nice guy as well, and he's not going to upset the apple cart in terms of be a disruptive influence in the dressing room. And I think once he's up to speed, I think we'll have a good couple of months of a very good play on our hands. We'll see what happens with that Tim Steidten interview, whether more and more excerpts will come out, whether we'll get the full interview. If we get the full interview, we'll get that sorted as soon as possible, maybe even translated from German. Maybe we got our friend Dennis involved. I believe Dennis speaks fluent German, so we'll get him involved. Keep an eye on the channel. Lots of stuff, lots of news, lots of just loads and loads of opinions and insights coming up, particularly with the run up to the Arsenal game. People's opinions, who's injured, who's not injured. Antonio was pictured yesterday doing full contact sort of training, which is good news for the squad on Sunday. And then tomorrow we had the David Moyes press conference, and then we start getting ready for the Arsenal game itself. Should have Irish Tommy on tomorrow as well. Tomorrow night doing the late show. He was on the he was driving to Tipperary. He does drive to Tipperary quite a long time. It's a long way to go to Tipperary, but he does do it very often. Anyway, on that bombshell, if you like what we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, maybe become a channel member. We've had so many recently. Thank you so much. Channel members get automatically entered into winning memorabilia, free stuff. We gave away a free football that hasn't been claimed yet by the winner just yet, and we gave away a signed current season shirt from our sponsors at our channel sponsors at Umbro. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay warm, enjoy your Thursday morning, and I'll see you guys later. Take care, stay humble, and come on, you bloody irons. Irons!